Hey guys, welcome back to Jeff's Garage. I'm Taylor, and we're going to be getting back into the 1989 Corvette. I went to turn it on the other day and it didn't start, so I'm going to be showing you a no start situation and what I identified as the problem was and how we got there and how we're going to go from there to fixing the problem. So when I turned the car on the other day, it was showing signs of having a dead battery. So the first thing I did was check the battery. I put a charge on it and jumped in and it started. Well, once I realized the battery was dead, I wondered why was the battery dead. And then I got my multimeter out. So I got a multimeter here, and I'm going to show you exactly how I diagnosed to figure out if I had a bad alternator. So when you grab your multimeter, you're going to want to turn it to volts and then turn it to DC if it doesn't do it automatically. So it's only charging at 12.3. That is really low for an alternator charging. So just to be sure, I went to the back of the main power supply to the alternator and wanted to make sure it was charging at the same rate. That way it wasn't in the wire itself. So yep, it is still charging at 12.3. That is too low. It should be a minimum at 13.5. As you can see in that video, we're not getting proper voltage. Voltage should be around 14 volts. We were around 12.3. We're not getting proper voltage, and I didn't just check from the battery side, I checked on the back of the post, which is telling me that we're getting direct signal from the alternator. We're gonna have to change the alternator. We have a bad alternator. To start that process, first thing you're gonna wanna do is disconnect your positive lead on your battery cable. So I do believe that I have factory post on the Corvette, and my poster is a 5/16 wrench. It fits the best in there. A ratchet will not fit. I just tried it, and the reason I take off the positive side is because if you have the neutral side, if you decide to take the neutral side off and you jump the positive terminal and make contact with something that's grounded, you'll get a little shocky. So right down there is the tensioner pulley. So I just get a normal breaker bar, and you can slide right into that little square socket and loosen the tensioner pulley to take the serpentine belt off. You will have to probably take off your intake, air intake. It does get in the way. Mine is loose, so I didn't have to take it off. I could just loosen it up and pull the tensioner or the serpentine belt off one of the pulleys. All right, so from this point, we can easily take off the plug here, and then we're gonna have to get a socket and take that screw off there. My socket is a 10mm socket. Put it on there, lefty loosey, righty tighty. All right, so it is a 10mm on the front here, so we can just go ahead and pop it on there and take it off. Oh. All right, we got a 13 socket that fits that right down there, and lefty loosey. We got our old alternator, we got our new one right here. I do recommend buying a brand new alternator, not remanned. Remanned ones have been known to go out, but to each their own. You can make your own decisions. You guys are all adults. Just my suggestion. Make sure you put your bolts, obviously this one's easy. You got one long one, one short one, pretty easy. You see the slots where they go right there. You got one right here, and then obviously the other one right down there. But we're gonna throw this new one back into place and put our bolts back in. So there are torque specs to these. I don't go off torque specs a lot of times unless it's actually like super crucial internal parts. I just go off of however tight it was when I put it on. So just make sure it's nice and tight Make sure it's nice and snug. If you're worried about it, I'd look up your torque spec in your manual. Alright, so now we're going to put our serpentine back on the pulleys. Make sure that they are still in the proper orientation that they should be. Now we go back around one more time, make sure our serpentine belt is in line with everything. Double checking the serpentine belt, making sure everything's good. All right, so we're back. We're gonna plug everything back in. It doesn't matter in which order. I'm gonna plug that in, then I will grab my little socket. Make sure your little rubber boots on there, that way you don't ride the lightning. And from there we got our plug, got that, both our stuff. We can go double check, make sure everything's nice and tight. Yeah, good there. We can plug our battery back in and just snug. You don't have to go crazy with it, just snug it up. Okay, so we're gonna start the Corvette back up. We're gonna see how it's charging. So as you can see, it's still a little low, but I think that's because the idle on this is still not 100%. I think there might be a vacuum leak, but it is significantly better than it was. So as you guys can see, the charging is a lot better. It should be charging at a minimum of 13.5, which it was above. You saw it was a little lower than 14, but I think that's because the idle on this is still a little weird. I think it's because I don't know if it's completely within time or if it has a vacuum leak somewhere, but either way, I think that did fix the problem, and hopefully it won't leave me stranded anywhere. Diesel, did I do a good job? You're scared. Why are you scared? Is this pug approved? Oh my goodness. Diesel, is it pug approved? Diesel, did I do a good job? Is it pug approved? I think it's pug approved. Supervisor says yeah, it checks out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Leave me a couple comments in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. So, thank you. Bye-bye.